Welcome to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch and would like to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below to buy it at JazzTime.com. Today, I'll be reviewing the Omega Seamaster Diver 300M Coaxial Master Chronograph, special edition, only 7,007 of these produced, the James Bond 50th anniversary. A lot of cool things to talk about in this video. I'll tell you a little bit about the history. Then I'll tell you about some quirks of this watch that make it different from the normal Omega Seamaster 300M. And I'll do that while I tell you about each part, which is namely the case, bezel, dial, bracelet, movement. And then finally, I'll try it on and give you my thoughts. So let's start with the history. Now, Omega did a very wise partnership. In fact, they did many very wise partnerships. One of their most wise was the moon watch and their watch going to the moon, making that one of their most famous lines or collections of watches, the Omega Moon Watch. And that Speedmaster Moon Watch has since gone on to be a smash hit for Omega. In fact, I would even say without the Omega Speedmaster, I'm not sure we would see even Omega being the top 5 watchmaker in the world. And a second collection, their second biggest, is their 300M or their Seamaster collection. And I would even say that one of their I definitely would say that their biggest partnership, which has led to this collection being so famous, is their collaboration with 007. Of course, 007, James Bond, everyone knows what that is. I don't need to go through it. It's not a history lesson either, but James Bond has been around for a long time. There's, I don't know how many James Bond movies, like 30 of them or something, and it goes all the way back more than 50 years now, actually. And so to commemorate the 50th year of it, they produced this watch. Now, James Bond, I heard when they were making this in the very beginning, the James Bond producers wanted to wear a Rolex Submariner and asked for Rolex to sponsor them. Foolishly, Rolex decided not to, and James Bond went with the Omega, and Omega took the spot instead. So instead of Rolex taking the spotlight, because actually in the very beginning, James Bond did wear a Rolex Submariner, and then they wanted to get some partnership or collaboration with some watch company to get sponsored, and Omega stepped up to the plate. Had Rolex stepped up to the plate, they would have smashed their competitor Omega, and their Submariner would be even more famous than it already is, and it would have been better for the brand. But foolishly, they didn't do that. Omega wisely took the spot and became the I guess the official watch of 007. And very wise idea, because as you see, it's really become a smash hit for Omega. I guess maybe Rolex didn't know how big 007 would be. Perhaps, let's say 007 turned out to be a flop, they maybe would associate their watch with a loser movie, but that turned out not to be the case. 007 turned out to be one of the most, if not the most, successful movie franchise of all time. So, Rolex missed the boat on that, but Omega did catch that wave. So here we are, and there's been many different Omegas that have been worn throughout the years. This is just one of them. Okay, and a very special one. Okay, so let's talk about it. It was produced in 2019. There's 7,007 units of these. A very nice number. They've used that number in other 007 Seamasters as well. Okay, well, let's start with the first thing. Let's start with the case. The case is 42 millimeters. Not all that surprising. It's a very common size for the Seamaster. 42 millimeters. It has a lug width of 20 millimeters, also not very uncommon. Has a very nice side profile as well. Not too thick. I don't know exactly how thick it is. I want to say 13 millimeters or something like that. But, and the case more or less just looks like an Omega Seamaster. However, the one nice thing though is turn it on the side of the 9 o'clock, and you see like a little plaque, and it's written in gold which number it is here, and it has the 007 insignia right there. Pretty cool, if you ask me. I would say that's a pretty darn cool thing, actually. to have like a little plaque on the side. Usually it's on the back, but here it's on the side. So that's kind of nice. That distinguishes it a little bit. Okay, let's move on to the bezel here. So that's one thing. The case is a little bit different. The second thing, let's move at the bezel. The bezel's not that different, really not any different actually. It's just a black ceramic bezel, which is a good thing because the older versions were made of aluminum, which was scratched. The ceramic ones did not, and this one is ceramic. So it's really nice. But that's not really changed from any other Seamaster. Let's take a look at the dial. Here's where a lot of things are happening, and a lot of little quirks and stuff and features that are different here. Let's start with the dial. The first obvious thing is you can see it has a swirl pattern to it, and that swirl pattern is it's supposed to represent like a bullet, and obviously James Bond, he carries that 9mm, and in fact I read, which is pretty interesting, the circle of this bullet is actually 9mm. It's exactly the same size as a bullet would be, which is 9mm. That's what he carries. So that's pretty unique, the thing right there. And then if you look up at the top, it has, at the 12 o'clock position, it has the marker of the coat of arms. Yes, the Bond family has a coat of arms. I didn't know that. I actually had to look it up. I Googled it. If you Google Bond family coat of arms, you can see it. And this is just one part of it. So at the 12 o'clock, this little triangle thing, that's part of the coat of arms. And I'll get to that a little bit when I talk about movement. But yes, that is put at the 12 o'clock, and that's not on any other Seamaster. So that is kind of special. And also, they've done the hands here in gold, only befitting for a 007 watch that matches that plate on the side of the case as well. Okay, so they have those gold accents, which is I think it's quite special actually. And then another interesting thing is, I've never seen this on any other watch, so I have to say this is quite special. If you look at, since this watch is a 50th anniversary, there's a secret number of 50 hidden in the luminescent of the hour marker. That's right. You heard it right. And I didn't notice this until I read about it, and then I looked at it carefully. I'm like, oh, God darn it. You can actually see the 50th in there. Who would have known, huh? Okay, so let's try to look a little carefully. Look at this 50th, and you see it's kind of written out there in 50th, and you probably would never notice it unless you really look carefully. Makes sense though, right? I mean, James Bond is a hidden secret service member that serves his country, and this is the 50th anniversary, so it only makes sense that they would hide it there. A nice little touch that most people probably wouldn't know about it, but it is very cool. Okay, and then lastly, let's take a look at the date. I actually noticed this right away, even though no one said, but I read it and I also noticed it, is look at the date wheel. So when you scroll through the date wheel, it just has normal numbers. But as you probably know, if you're a James Bond fan, the number 7 is an important number because that's his number. It is in a 007 font. So very wisely, they have put the font in 007. Yeah, that's right. Another cool little hidden gem that makes this watch a little different, right? So I think that is, 3 pretty cool things right there. Let's turn the watch over and look at the movement now. The movement is, well, it's an automatic movement. It's a caliber 8800, but that's not where it's only special. It's special for other reasons. And I think the most obvious part is look at the coat of arms placed on it. That's right. It has its coat of arms. And I actually, like I said, I had to look that up. And, the coat of arms is I guess a logo that signifies what your family or country or whatever you represent looks like. Do you remember that little arrow at the 12 o'clock? It's also here on the back. And then I had to look this up. It said orbis non sufficit. I'm guessing this is Latin. So I looked at the meaning, and incredibly, it says the world is not enough. What a great sign, to put the coat of arms there. And in fact, the world is not enough was one of the Bond movies. So I just think it's great that they put it there, and the way they put it there is also pretty nice. They put it there using a metallicized gold and black to put it on to the back like that, onto the back crystal. Very nice indeed. Definitely. And it also comes with a nice nice box and stuff, and really nice. Okay, the bracelet is not really any change. You could put this watch on a uh, an actual bracelet, a steel bracelet, or you could leave it on the rubber. Either way is good. I would bet James Bond will probably wear it on the rubber since he's doing very active things. Okay, now time to try this watch on my wrist and give you my thoughts. Now I'm 6 foot tall, 200 pounds. I have a 7.5-inch wrist, and as you see, 42 millimeters is a very nice size for me. And what I can say about this is that for the price point, now this watch, I'm not sure what it was selling for when it was first released, but we are selling it at Jazz Time right around $8,000 or so as of 2025. And there's not very many of them out there. It's a limited production, but we can get it. You can't get it new anymore because this watch has been out too long, but we can get it to you in really nice condition. And look, if you like this watch, you definitely should buy it, and I'll give you the reasons why. Well, if you like the Seamaster, it's more than a Seamaster, obviously, but it's special for those reasons that I stated to you earlier. And I think for those reasons, you get a little bit of extra, something that nobody else has. And it definitely, if you're a James Bond fan, this is something that you could, hang on to, and it really commemorates that collaboration. So it checks a lot of boxes. Yes, it's not the best watch in the world, I'm not saying that, but it's definitely better than the regular Seamaster. It's a limited edition of it. It has a good place considering the price and what it is, and it's supposed to be a fun watch. It's not going to solve your watch problems forever, but it's a fun watch, especially for those who are 007 fans. I definitely am one. So yeah, this is a nice watch. I can recommend it for you. So look, if you want to buy this watch at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below to buy it at jazztime.com. Ooh, did I forget to tell you the reference number of this? 210.22.42.20.01.004.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to Model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in Jazz Time, plus the brand, model, and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.